Welcome everybody to the Bot Squad podcast. I'm your host Gina Man 94 here to review Monday Night Raw for April 4th, 2016, the Raw after WrestleMania edition of Monday Night Raw. Now this is always the best Raw of the year, and it was actually a pretty good episode of Raw. A few little things that they could have kept to themselves, but anyway, let's get right into it. So Vince McMahon comes out, and the crowd is already crazy. They're chanting his theme song and singing it to him, and normal Vince things. He plays off the crowd. Of course he does. It's Vince McMahon. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. So, in classic Vince fashion, he was like, yeah, no chance in hell. Just like what Shane had last night against The Undertaker. And immediately gets the crowd to boo him. And, he was saying that Shane no longer holds anything over him. He got what was in the deposit box. So Shane can't use that against him anymore. And he was like, although he does respect Shane for, what he did last night, jumping off of the Hell in a Cell. He's crazy, but he still didn't get the job done. So Shane comes out, looking beat up as all hell, limping, barely even walking, and he had a nice little shiner on the side of his face. And, he's just looking like a damn mess. His lip was like busted. It was, it wasn't pretty for Shane. He came out and was like, since I'm the only man in this family, I'm going to shake your hand and tell you that you won. And, I was a loser in this. And, hey, I can accept that I lost. So he shook his hand, and then he thanked the crowd for all their support and all throughout the match yesterday. And, the hype leading up to it and being so nice to him, remembering who he was and all that good stuff. And he said, okay, I'm gone. Peace. And Vince, I guess, grew a soft spot because Shane is his son, and he stopped him. He was like, hold on, wait, I won't be upstaged. You can run Raw for the night, and I'm just going to leave. And then Shane gets control of Raw for the night, so that was pretty sweet. And then right after that, the New Day comes out. And of course, they're babyface now, so the crowd popped for them extra hard, and, saying New Day rocks and all that good stuff. And they come out and said, things didn't go their way last night, but that's all right. They got to, dance in the ring with legends. And even Xavier took a stunner from Stone Cold, but he said he looked back on it and it was kind of his fault. And it was still, as they say, lit. And, they were excited or whatever. And they're going to be defending their tag team championships against the League of Booty. And they came back from commercial, and it was so funny because they had Lillian Garcia in the ring twerking and dancing with them. It was hilarious to see that. And then the League of Booty came out, and it was Sheamus and King Barrett versus Xavier. No, Xavier was on the outside versus Kofi and Big E. Of course, we've seen this match 1,000 times. It wasn't really, nothing really to write home about or whatever. Oh, right before this match started, the New Day did this whole Lion King gimmick with the last piece of the Bootio cereal that they had last night, and it was hilarious. But yeah, like I said, we've seen this match a billion times, standard match, whatever. New Day won, so they're still WWE Tag Team Champions, thank God. Now after the match, Sheamus grabbed the mic and he was pissed. He was like, I'm tired of losing. We're the best athletes from around the world. We shouldn't be losing this. We should dominate anybody. And Sheamus said, we're as strong as our weakest link. And he looked right at Wade Barrett. Del Rio and Rusev grabbed him, and they pretty much removed him from the League of Nations. Sheamus hit him with a brogue kick, and that was pretty much that. Wade Barrett's supposed to be leaving soon, so yep, they kicked him out the group. And then the Wyatt family comes out. They attacked the League of Nations, and, the crowd was chanting, thank you, Wyatt, and all this other stuff. So they pretty much cleaned the ring of them, and he hit Sheamus with the Sister Abigail. Yeah, so wherever that's going to go, I guess they're going to start feuding or whatever. Who knows? Renee Young was backstage with Vince as he's leaving. He says he doesn't want to be around because the show is going to be a disaster, and he doesn't want to see it all crumble. So he's leaving. He's done for the night. He's gone. Also noted, Stephanie and Triple H were not here tonight. And neither was Dean Ambrose. So I don't know what that was about, but none of them were there tonight. After that, Summer Rae was in the ring, pretty much burying her teammates from Mania, saying if she was the leader, then none of that would have ever happened. And then she started dogging Sasha Banks, and you already knew Sasha Banks was going to come out. And they had a quick little match. Of course, Sasha beat her in, quick fashion. Didn't waste no time with Summer Rae. And then after that, they did a little promo video for Apollo Crews, because he's now on the main roster, and they were just pretty much saying he's coming up next. So he came out to face Tyler Breeze. So it was like a NXT type match. And a couple months ago, these two were actually feuding right before Tyler Breeze got called up to the main roster. So it was pretty sweet to see these guys go at it again. This match didn't go that long either, but it was an alright match, whatever, pretty standard. Pretty much just trying to get Apollo Crews' moveset over with the crowd, and pretty much just showing what he can do, showing his athleticism and all that good stuff. So, he won. After this was a nice little segment here. I really enjoyed this. Roman Reigns comes out, and of course the crowd was harsh. And what I did myself personally, like I told you the other day, I was talking to Wise on Twitter, and I watched his WrestleMania review that he did, and he was pretty much just saying, as fans, oftentimes we're hypocrites, because we'll say we want something from a certain person or a certain wrestler, and then we'll go back on that because they're actually giving you what you want from them, but pretty much because it's not exactly the way you want it, you're still gonna crap on it, and nobody's really giving them a chance. So, like I said in my WrestleMania review, I'm giving Roman Reigns a chance, and he came out looking, just excellent champion. Yeah, he's, the badass that I've always said I wanted him to be, and he's been for the past couple of months. I just didn't realize it because I listened to the crowd too much. So what I did tonight, I tuned the crowd out. I wasn't listening to the boos, whatever they wanted to do, that was on them. Roman got in the ring. He played to the crowd a little bit, and it was pretty sweet. He was like, oh, come on, I'm not a bad guy. And then he proceeded to say, well, I'm not a good guy either. I am the guy. I am the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I kick Triple H's ass. And if anybody in the back got a problem with it, or they want to challenge me for my title, come on out and do so. So, yeah, Roman Reigns is nice, man. He's, doing what he's supposed to do. He's, he's the badass. That's what we wanted. That's exactly what he is. So, of course, you had guys come out and wanted to challenge him for his title. Chris Jericho came out and said that he's not asking for a match. He's not telling him he wants a match. He's demanding that he gives him a match. He beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and he should deserve a title match. And of course, right on cue, AJ Styles comes out, and he wants a title match against Roman Reigns. And then Kevin Owens comes out, and of course he wants a match with Roman Reigns. And then following him is Sami Zayn. So all four of these men want a shot at Reigns. And it was just hilarious how Roman Reigns was just no-selling all of them. He was just looking at them and laughing like, oh, these are the best guys that were coming from the back to challenge me? I beat Triple H. So you guys are light work to me. I don't care about you guys. Whatever you guys want to do, that's on y'all. So if you really want to come at me, that's fine. And they all started, battling it out while Roman stood there and watched and laughed at them like, you guys are foolish. And it was awesome. Pretty good little segment they did here. But what winded up happening is Shane winded up making a fatal 4-way match for the #1 contendership for Reigns' championship. I don't know if they're going to do it at the next pay-per-view, or that's probably what they're going to wind up doing. I don't even know what the next pay-per-view is. Maybe Payback? I'm not too sure on that one. But, yeah, so Reigns was like, okay, cool. Whoever wins that match faces me, that's fine. I feel like I can beat any one of them. Cool with me. I have no problem. The next match was between the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, Baron Corbin came out and, he dropped his little promo or whatever. He's on the main roster now, of course, too. We had a few debuts tonight, and it was pretty sweet. He stood next to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, and then, he dropped a little promo. He was like, for all you guys who don't know who I am, I don't care. You don't need to know. I leave a path of destruction where I go, and the end of days is calling and all that good stuff. So Baron Corbin's on, the main roster, and he's a badass. He's a badass too. It's pretty sweet. I love Baron Corbin. I've noticed how he's progressed in NXT, and now he's bringing his talents to the main roster. Him and Ziggler had a pretty good match here. I always enjoy watching Ziggler wrestle. A lot of people are bad on Ziggler, but I like him. He's pretty cool for me. They had a good match, and pretty much they went into the crowd. Baron Corbin knocked Ziggler out into the crowd, and they got counted out. And Baron Corbin was pissed, so he brought Ziggler back over the barricade and hit the end of days outside of the ring. So yeah, that's pretty much how that match went. Pretty cool. It showed the crowd that Baron Corbin ain't nothing to be messed with, and he does have a temper the same way he did in NXT. And commentary did a pretty decent job, telling a little bit of his backstory of what he's done in NXT. So I appreciated that. Next, this kind of made me a little mad, because Zack Ryder came out and, was talking about how WrestleMania was the best night of his life, and how he held Razor Ramon's title at WrestleMania 10 when he faced Shawn Michaels in a ladder match, and how last night he had him hold his title after he won the ladder match at WrestleMania 32. So then he thanked his dad for keeping him involved in wrestling and taking him to shows at Madison Square Garden, all of that, and it was all good. And then The Miz comes out and pretty much baits Zack Ryder into giving him a title match, which I already knew that was bad decision by Zack Ryder. He should have been like, no, you need to earn it. I won the ladder match last night. I beat you. You haven't earned this title match, so why am I giving you a title match? But he said something about his father, and it hyped up Zack Ryder, pun intended. And he gave him the title match. So it was a pretty good match. Zack Ryder has really improved in the ring. His moveset has gotten more advanced than what it used to be. He hits a lot of different moves, and the crowd was actually into it a little bit. Showing Z Ryder got to show off what he can do, and that he can compete with the more upper echelon guys in the WWE or whatever. And somehow during the match they got outside the ring, and they were right there by Zack's father, of course. So, The Miz had said something about him earlier, and they started talking back and forth to each other. And Zack Ryder's dad Miz pushed Zack Ryder's dad. And Zack Ryder's dad is pretty buff, so he pushed him right back and knocked Miz to the ground, which I thought should have been a disqualification. But, hey, what do I know? And then after that, The Miz's wife came out of nowhere, Maurice. Haven't seen her on WWE TV in years. And she slapped the hell out of Zack Ryder's dad. Zack Ryder was distracted, watching this all go down. The Miz hit skull-crushing finale, and he is now a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, Zack Ryder lost the title 24 hours after he won it. Not really surprising that WWE would do this. Apparently, he's supposed to get his rematch on Smackdown, but whatever. I figured they weren't going to give him a title run anyway, but damn, man, he couldn't have just, held on to it for another week or so? No, couldn't do that? Okay. So Kevin Owens is now backstage with Renee Young, and he's telling her that he's going to win the Fatal 4-Way and, take the belt from Reigns and shut up the Roman Empire or whatever. She pretty much interviewed all the, contestants in the Fatal 4-Way match, and, all throughout the night on their opinions of the match and how they thought they were going to fare against each other. So next, Lita comes out to, and she had, all the other women wrestlers around the belt, because it's now the women's championship. It's no more divas. No. Forget total divas. We don't care. It's the women's championship now. And, she came out to crown Charlotte as the WWE women's champion. So all the other women were, of course, mad. You had Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks standing there. Of course, they lost the triple threat match last night, so they were looking pissed. And Becky Lynch had a shiner on the side of her face, too. It was like everybody got these little shiners on their face after WrestleMania. It was crazy. So Charlotte comes out, and she kind of broke character a little bit, and was thanking the fans and appreciative of all the women who helped make this possible, who helped put them on the map and not have them, overlooked anymore as to be taken seriously, that they can put on great matches, that they can steal the show, and that they can even main event maybe in the near future. And so that was pretty nice. And then, of course, she went back to being her old heel self and pissed off all the women that were in the ring. And then Natty was telling her that she needs to learn humility. And and then Charlotte was like, I don't want to listen to you. I'm tired of hearing you. And Natty was like, I've put on some of the best matches with you. I've taken you to your limit, and I've almost beat you, just like I did just like I almost did at Roadblock. And Charlotte was like, you're just upset because my family is better than yours, because I'm the champion. My father is a 16-time world champion and will always be better than your family will ever be. And that pissed Natalya off. She tried to put her in a sharpshooter, but Charlotte got away. So that was pretty much all that was for that. AJ Styles was now being interviewed by Renee Young, and he said, even though he lost at WrestleMania, he's not just here to lose at WrestleMania and just go away. He's here to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and that's what he plans to do against Roman Reigns. So he plans on winning the Fatal 4-Way, of course, and this is the Phenomenal Era. The next match that came on was the Dudleys versus the Usos in a tables match. And I'm so tired of these guys wrestling, but it made sense at the end of it because of what happened. The Dudleys won this, of course. The Usos went to splash them through tables as they did last night. But instead, this time they missed. They rang the bell prematurely because technically the Dudleys didn't put them through tables. They kind of just fell through them. And then they put one of the Usos through a table that was set up by one of the turnbuckles. And then they were like, now you ring the bell. What are you doing? Pretty much just getting more heat, against themselves or whatever. After that, I guess they stayed outside or whatever, but it cut back to Sami Zayn talking about he's been an underdog his whole life, and it took him 14 years to get where he is, and he wants to win so he can prove he can be, with the main eventers. He proves that he belongs, and Kevin Owens attacks him and powerbombs him through a table, and I guess that took him out of the match, the Fatal 4-Way #1 contendership match. So yeah, now there was a spot that needed to be filled, and we all know what happened with that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. They cut back out to the ringside, and the Dudleys was like, who's gonna stop us, who's gonna get us out of here, we won the tables match, still gloating. And then Enzo Amore and Big Cass come out, and the crowd went crazy. They've been waiting for them to debut for a couple weeks now, and they came out and the crowd popped loudly for them. They love Enzo and Cass. They know them from NXT, and it was great to see them debut on a roster too. So it was a bunch of NXT guys that came up tonight. No Bayley though. Bayley's not coming up just yet, I guess, but she'll be up pretty soon. I'm sure of it. So yeah, they came out. They did their whole little gimmick. And you can't teach that, all of that stuff. Then they proceeded to embarrass the Dudleys, and the crowd was with them, and Enzo on the mic is just golden. His microphone skills are incredible. He calls himself Smack Talker Skywalker. He said he has the gift of gab and the gift of jab, and they were challenging the Dudleys to come in the ring. Hey, what you gonna do? You seem like you don't like what we're saying, so come do something about it. So then the Dudleys got fed up, went to the ring, and then was like, nah, screw it. And then they did the whole SAWFT soft thing, and yeah, so I guess they're gonna be feuding with the Dudleys now. Whatever, maybe it'll work. I'll give WWE a chance to make it work. I'm not just gonna crap on anything that WWE is presenting without actually watching to see if it'll work out. So yeah, that was pretty sweet. So Enzo and Cass are on the main roster, and the crowd loves it. Now it was main event time. Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles versus the mystery opponent. For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender. I think it was Lillian announced on the mic that Sami Zayn would not be able to compete in this match, and per Shane McMahon, here's their replacement. And out comes Cesaro. I didn't know Cesaro was ready to come back to the main roster. I didn't know he was healthy, but he's healthy and he's back. And the crowd went crazy for him. And this turned out to be an awesome main event match. Something we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time. The main event match was actually something worth watching. It kept you, you know, going the whole match, and these guys just laid it all out on the line. It was an awesome freaking match. You know, all 4 of these guys are very talented, and they meshed well together in this fatal 4-way. The match, for the most part, could have went either way. Any one of these guys could have won, and I would have been satisfied with it. Like I said, these guys put on a great match, and, you know, nobody looked weak in this match, and that's something I enjoyed. It wasn't just like, oh, well, it's just these 2 guys, and then these other 2 guys are just here to take the pinfall or whatever. I honestly thought Cesaro was going to win, but it turns out that AJ Styles won this match. And, you know, there was a bunch of near falls all throughout the match. You know, you would think one guy was going to win, and then you would think Jericho, and then you would think Owens, and, you know, maybe Cesaro. You know, he's still doing his whole uppercut gimmick, and it was just sweet. It was a really great match. I enjoyed it. And, yeah, AJ Styles, he pinned Jericho with the Styles Clash, even though Jericho kicked out of that last night, but never mind. He beat Jericho with the Styles Clash, and he is the new #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Overall, it was a pretty good Raw. Probably could have been a whole lot better, but I'm not gonna, you know, say, oh, well, maybe they should have did this or that. They did what they could. They did what they wanted to do. I was okay. I watched, you know, every bit of Raw. A little upset Zack Ryder lost, but not really surprised at the same time. But other than that, really, it was a good Raw. No authority promos or anything like that. Reigns did pretty good. He was really great tonight, and I really enjoyed that. So I wonder how you guys feel about, you know, Raw after Mania. The crowd got on my nerves a little bit, because it was like sometimes we wanted to hear what the wrestlers were saying, and, you know, they kept interrupting them. But you know, of course, Raw after Mania crowd is going to be crazy anyway, and, you know, that's just something to expect. So I hope you guys liked the video. Go ahead and comment down in the comment section below how you felt about this Raw, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with more reviews. I'll probably do an NXT review on Wednesday. Don't quote me on that, but I plan on doing an NXT review and adding that to my video selection that I do. So I'll see you guys maybe then. If not, I'll see you guys next week for the next Raw review. And hope you guys have a good one. Peace. Peace. Peace.